Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. We are here for the 2.4 hours of Le Mans in the 67s, the classics, back in our trusty Nissan 83 R382. Yeah, this should hopefully be a fun race, if judging how Riverside and Kanami, two previous classic races we've done this year so far, have gone. But yeah, it's qualifying is about to begin fairly shortly. If you didn't see on the community tab of the channel, I put up an entry list. I also think I tweeted it out, or maybe retweeted something for it. I can't remember now, but yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to finish their laps in practice here. Sorry, and then we'll be getting into qualifying. Another thing she mentioned about this race is we have a classic, as the race is a classic Le Mans start. It could be very chaotic. We should have about 50 people. There were a few sort of late dropouts. But, so we're not going to have quite 50, but we should be nearly there. We've got 43 in the server currently. Maybe we'll have another couple of people join for the race. But yeah, this should be very exciting. So still just waiting for final laps to be completed. There we are. So we have 2 minutes till the start of qualifying here. If you're wondering, our sort of strategy for quality is we're going to go out for 5 laps of fuel, do about 5 laps, come in, and then probably go out for another 5. Maybe it might just be a 4-lap stint at the end, depending how long we've got left. That should give us ample time to get a good lap in. longer to it. As we're one of the slower classes, we're also going to just wait a few moments when the session starts. Just to help us get a bit of space. There we go, server's resetting the time to just after 2 o'clock. We have our fuel. Let's go. So onto the Mulsanne straight for the first time. Nissan, as we've seen in previous races, ain't that quick down the straights. As we're gonna see here, the nice thing by having a long straight is it means the faster classes have a nice place to pass without interfering with quality laps, something that wasn't the case with Kyalami or Riverside. A lot harder to find track position there. Should be a bit easier here. Of course, straight line speed has much more defining impact in how quick you are over a lap here at Le Mans, given how much of it is just flat out straights. But we'll still have a little group of cars within our class to fight with. Through Mulsanne corner. Bit more of an awkward place to have traffic catching up to you through these little kinks. On the run towards Indianapolis. Car running a little wide in front of us and we just followed them. And this is another little awkward section when it comes to car slapping. Track curves around quite a bit and the cars are fast on the straights, don't have quite as much grip as us. Was lifting just because the cars are a bit slower through that final corner than we're able to be. We're able to take it flat out in ideal conditions. We're not quite there yet. And we had a little bit of traffic. There was a yellow flag too, so in case there was an incident, I want to make sure we've been able to slow down and not just pile into it. through turn one. It could be flat here in qualifying. Try and hold it flat out through this right-hander, just getting a lot of understeer. Little tag of the wall. Very unlikely that this lap is going to be our fast lap. Another key thing to note in for qualifying here is can have quite an influence on your lap time from what cars are lapping you down the Mulsanne straight here. A car passing you just to lap you can give you a tenth of a second just from slipstream. Even though they fly by you and they're maybe alongside you for a second, you can just get a little bit of slipstream from them. That gives you a little gain. And then of course if you have multiple cars come past you, that is, that time can add up. Welcome, Cora. Good to see you. Yeah, 67 is a great time to emulate. Looks like we're catching up to someone as we head towards Mulsanne Corner. Should hopefully be able to get past them here on the run to Indianapolis. Might even be able to get a bit of tow, which can be helpful too. We've got another faster car coming up behind us as well, so it could get a little awkward here. Let me just get in front of that purple car. Someone off in the runoff at Indianapolis. Just slightly tagging the apex curb there. Give us a load of wheel spin. Looks like car behind made a mistake. Welcome Iris, welcome Kiki. We're just getting into qualifying here on our first flying lap. I'd say our first time's going to be 48.8, which is alright. As a little wide into turn one. Rear end just slipping away, and I think I'm going to reset just to fix bodywork damage. Also give us a bit of clear track. It won't be too long before we have the top classes catch us up. Yeah, and Masson Blanc, very scary corner flat out. But you can just about take it flat out in the Nissan. Very important corner to take flat out. Of course, that carries you all the way down to turn 1. Yep, of course, the same Nissan that we've driven or raced at Riverside and Kyalami for this year. Of course, Kyalami was only about a month ago. Riverside was back in February now. We did that, so about 5 months ago. I wonder if we're catching up to the same pink car that we were catching up to on our previous lap. Seemed like they made a mistake through Saint Blanc. And obviously then they probably reset because of that, so... This might be the same car that we're catching up to here now. They're just gonna let us by since we're both on out laps. Though when we do get to our flying lap, we are going to have the faster classes coming past us. They're only about 12 seconds back to the first one of those cars. That a little deep. Just held on to the car. I don't know exactly, to be honest with you, Cora. I'm just running the Mon gear set that this car has. Just slightly skimming the wall there. We've been told not to cut the white line on the inside of that corner, which means you have to run a little bit wide of the apex to stay within track limits. Just means you kind of end up running onto the grass a little bit on the exit. Picked up a bit of understeer through there. It's going to drag us wide into the wall. Better run through the chicane. A little wide for the apex coming on to Mulsanne. So we're currently sitting in 30th out of 43 cars that are qualifying. I think it'll be... we could potentially get P29 at the moment. We're only like 7 hundredths off of 29th, but then we're a few seconds back from 20th, so it could be a bit difficult. to make further progress. You can see in the bottom that little green bar just popping up, the delta starting to grow in the negatives. That's the slipstream just helping us out a little bit, and still helping us despite the fact those cars are now a second odd down the road. Bit of a mistake for one of them, spinning, trying to get the power down out of Mulsanne corner. Car behind didn't have anywhere to go. Unfortunately for them, you can see now Delta dropping back down now that we don't have any slipstream. Heading up to Indianapolis. It was quite sideways going into Indianapolis. A bit slow into the corner, but made the time up on exit. Someone facing the wrong way here at this right-hander. Anyway, a very bad run out of on our fastest lap so far. So we're about 8 tenths up. Only corner now is Masson Blanc. Have to stay left here, so I think we have a faster class closing up there. They've decided to back off by the looks of it. Play it safe and probably pass at a later point. So here we go. A little bit of grass used, but well within track limits. So as we come up to the line, there'll be a 47.9. Bit of traffic coming out of pits once again, just picking up understeer and having to lift quite a bit. Better run onto the Mulsanne this time. So we're a couple of tenths up, and we could still get a bit of slipstream here from one of the cars that's coming up behind us. Remember, we did get a bit of slipstream on that previous lap too. 12 minutes left in the quali session. You can see getting a bit of time from the slipstream now. I can see now we were in the slipstream last lap. So that time disappears away again. That's a good through Mulsanne corner. So we're 4 tenths up now. Much smoother run through Indianapolis, gained 3 tenths there. little bit of understeer on the exit of the right-hander there. Made it difficult to put the power down, so we lost a couple of tenths. I think that car went for 360 there, which I did once in practice. Try and carry a bit more speed through turn 1, which we do this time round. We're going to gain about a couple of tenths. Held it flat through the second part of the chicane, gaining a bit more time. As we come onto the Mulsanne straight, we're half second up. But of course we will lose a bit of time if we don't get any slipstream down here. There is a car 7 seconds back from us. But doesn't look like they're quicker than us. Next car that's probably quicker than us is about 16 seconds back, so they won't catch us here. Eight minutes left in the quali session here. Now I lost about 1.5 tenths just from not having any slipstream. Maybe a slither bit more cautiously on the brakes into Mulsanne corner. We only dropped 400ths, which isn't bad. Much better exit there, you can see. Gaining that time on the Delta. Awkwardly, that quicker car I mentioned is now catching us here on the run to Maison Blanc. And I think they've backed out of it. He's in all of the track through Maison Blanc. So 46.6. As we'll have one more lap this quali session. We've had a good run through turn 1, right up to the wall. Getting held up by one of the 4 GTs though. He's had a big slide and really compromised our run here. And in fact, I don't have fuel for another lap, so I'm just going to reset to pits. Take out the fuel to 2 liters. Oh, and I want to do one more thing. I want to take a bit of tire pressure out of the rear left. It was a little high. Car coming up on us, so let them have the run through turn 1 uncompromised. So with our improvements, we're now only about 1.1 seconds off of the next car in front. We have a 2.1 second gap to the car behind. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about doing this, about only having 1 flying lap here, is the tires might not quite be ready temperature and pressure wise. So as we're coming up to start our final lap, it would be nice throttle blipping if it was me actually blipping throttle. I have the sort of throttle blip assist turned on. Not specifically for this car, it was a previous series that needed it quite a bit, and before I got this rig that I have now, when I just had my pedals on the floor, it was very difficult to blip the throttle while braking. So I just had the assist on and I haven't turned it off. As we're into our final lap here. Checkered flag is out. Picked up a bit of understeer there, coming onto Mulsanne Straight. We don't have any cars behind us, we are the last car on track. So we won't be getting any slipstream. We're already a quarter of a second down, so it doesn't look like this will be any improvement. On the brakes now. Gained a little bit of time there through Mulsanne Corner. You can see the sun getting ever lower in the sky. In a bit deep into Indianapolis. That's lost us more time. So ultimately this lap won't be an improvement, but we'll finish it out anyway. Good run through Masson Blanc. Doesn't mean anything. And as we come up to the line, it'd be a 47.2. Which still would have put us at 33rd. No, we didn't drop a position there at the end. Someone who was just left and rejoined the server, I think. So top times qualifying are in the 320s. We can see as we go back, eventually fall into 330s to 340s there, 350s. Final cars in the 350s. We've a Short little break before the race starts. 2 hours 40 minutes for our final preparations. The classes. There's 4 classes. According to the entry list, you can see the entry list. I will put it in chat. So you can see that post has the entry list, which is separated into the classes. We're in the 3rd class. One thing. We'll see here as we take over to the race session. Another 6 minutes before the race starts. Looks like it's a little warmer, just a slight bit warmer here, but yeah, we are going to put a full tank of fuel in. We do have to adjust the suspension for the fuel for the car to remain legal. And then we have our pit strategy here for the race. We'll take on 66 litres. We'll be able to do 95 litres, or 95 litres? We have a 90 litre fuel tank that'll get us 25 laps from the start. Fuel is the limiting factor when it comes to the pit time, so we're that's why we're taking max fuel rather than splitting it 50-50. It'll save us a bit of time in the race, in the pit stop. And then, so yeah, we'll take 66 litres on. That will get us to the end. Should have a lap. It should be a lap safe. Should we end up in the position of having to do a lap extra, just with where the leader happens to be in correspondence to us, you know, and we have to, and we cross the line at the end of the race, but the leader hasn't crossed yet, and so we have to do an extra lap. Of course, a longer lap here, that is, you know, slightly more likely to happen. I can see here the Le Mans start. I wonder. Aha. So you can see here, there seems to be a couple of cars in pit lane for some reason. If I press this, that hides. Yeah, this is our pit stall for the race, which, as you can see, we are one of the first pit stalls, which is a bit concerning. For reasons. Here is the grid. All the way to the front. I know how to get into free cam. To be honest, I don't remember how you get out of free cam. So I'm hoping when I press drive shortly that it'll put me back in the car. It should do, I think. Otherwise I'll be problematic. Oh dear. Oh dear. There we go. It just wouldn't let me change the cameras before I'd clicked drive, but now that I've clicked drive, it's like, yep. As we get away for the start here. There's been some silliness, but we've got through cleanly, which is the main part. Had to stamp on the brakes as things concertinaed up. Into the chicane for the first time. We've got a yellow flag here. It's cleared for now. And we've closed up a little bit to the cars in front again as we come on to Mulsanne Straight. We've got the one other Nissan R380 in front of us, which is quite useful, will give us a nice tow. Well, it seems like they have a little more straight line speed than we do. Even with the slipstream. Which is a little concerning, not gonna lie, you know. If we're a little bit slower on the straights, that's gonna cost us a lot of time around here. It's probably why we were about nearly, it's like 1.7 seconds off them, I think, at the end of qualifying. We've got a faster car on the straight starting to close up here. Lifting ever so slightly as they were having to break through the kink. Will they get the other Nissan before Mulsanne corner? Not quite, but we have a yellow flag out. That's not a great rejoin. That's like the black and yellow striped Porsche in front of us. In the slipstream as we head up to Indianapolis. I wouldn't be surprised to see another yellow flag here. No, it's clear through Indianapolis. Good to see. Just try and make sure we don't run into the back of the car in front of us. We'll probably not be flat through the Saint Blanc for the first time. closing up to the car in front of us. I decided to start backing out of it, but it looked like they were starting to also slow down to let me through. And we just got into awkward position of both of us saying, no, after you. We're going to pull alongside here down the start-finish straight as we get past the car that I think had an issue. And into T1 for the first time. We will pull clear and up to 26th. Have a bit of a lock up into the chicane. Dragged me wide from the first apex. Big slide for the car in front as it gets into the bank on the outside. Now we're giving the black and yellow striped car slipstream behind. As they pull alongside, they don't quite have the straight line speed to pull in front. It's neck and neck. We're starting to pull in front, so we just have ever so slightly a bit more straight line speed. And one of the cars that had an issue on the opening lap is starting to catch up on to us. We'll pull in front for the kink, and here comes that car. Slightly deep on the brakes, not as deep as the yellow and black striped car. Absolutely sent it on that other car. Ran them wide. As we make the run to Indianapolis, sun starting to set. As you can see at the bottom, the time progression is at 9 times speed. So we'll get a full day-night cycle. This is the car that was first on the grid, I believe. This is the pole sitter. Already having struggles finding themselves down the pack and having a bit of a sketchy moment across the grass into Indianapolis. Got another quicker car coming up on us. They won't catch us before Masson Blanc here. This will be our first opportunity to try it flat out. And we get done nice and cleanly. As we approach turn 1, will the car behind. Yes, for turn 1 they just will, but I had to get on the brakes into turn 1. That's cost us quite a bit of speed. Quite a bit of time just having to let them through. As you can see, we're much better in the corners. than they are. But we just don't have the straight line speed to match. We also have another quicker car behind us. Or they might have just caught up to us because we were getting held up through the first sector there. We do get a little bit of slipstream, but slipstream, of course, is most effective when you're at your top speeds. We were down at the lower speeds coming onto the Mulsanne straight there, so we'll not benefit quite as much as we would if we got a slipstream run sort of at this part of the straight. But it does look like we have a car catching up to us. It could be a little bit awkward here through the kink. They'll just get by us before the kink and we'll slot into a very nice slipstream here. You can see how much we're gaining with the slipstream. I was a bit worried heading into Mulsanne corner there, just making sure we get the car stopped before hitting the car in front of us, and also the car coming up behind us as well, closing in. Car behind starting to close as we head to Indianapolis. They're not going to be quite close enough to make a move before Indianapolis though. Sun getting ever lower in the skies. We pass 7:30 in game time. Beautiful sunset from here. Not so beautiful in terms of how much of the track that we can see. Once again, car behind isn't quite close enough to get a move done. We're sort of just quick enough in the corners to hold it at bay. You can see how much we were held up through turn 1 last lap with the Delta. And then out of the chicane. Nearly closed up enough to get a bit of slipstream coming onto the Mulsanne. Let's see if the cars behind are close enough to make a move this time. I also just noticed the game's saying we have made a pit stop. That's not the case, we haven't. Actually quite curious as to why it might be saying that. Yeah, got held up for about 1.5 seconds worth last lap. But then we also made up a bit of it with the slipstream down here. We should get a slipstream here as we do have a car coming up to pass us. But it won't be quite as much slipstream as we got last lap. So you can see we're gaining a little bit now. But we're gonna have to stay left here as the car was catching up to us. I can see now we're losing time. We are going to get a little bit of slipstream though. Let's just turn our headlights on there. Had a car legging to our inside, just give them as much space as I could. They were a little bit braver than us on the brakes. But we'll take the slipstream here. And maybe we'll get back past them. Looks like they have a little bit more top end than us though. That was so close. I'm so glad I took it a bit easy through there. Messed up my braking a little bit into there. Luckily we didn't run wide into them. I wonder what's going to happen here as we come up to Mont Blanc. We're obviously a little bit more confident than them in the corners. I would take it from how Indianapolis and such went. We do carry a bit more speed than them, so we are closing up. But we're not quite close enough to make any move. Maybe we might close up more through turn 1. Let's see here. We definitely are closing up. Pop the nose out, but not close enough to go for a dive. Not that you really would in this era. A little bit wide from them coming onto the Mulsanne. He's going to let us close up. And we'll be close enough to pull out of the slipstream, but we don't have the top speed on them. And ultimately we're going to have to duck back into the slipstream. But this will be very beneficial for us. Starting to close in again. And it's neck and neck here. That's a little unnecessary. I'm going to stay over the slipstream here. I don't want to close in as we come up to the right-hander. But now we tuck back in as we head down to Mulsanne corner. Big braking zone here. Side by side through Mulsanne corner. And still side by side as we make our way up to Indianapolis. Sun's starting to fall behind the trees now. There's that top end that they have. And we know that they lacked a bit of confidence through Indianapolis, so we know just to take it a little safer this time. Little bounce off the inside curb. So we're still right on their bumper. I'm just glad there aren't any faster class cars around us, as they'd make this fight quite awkward. We're just free to go side by side as much as we want. Lifting a little bit here. Oh, I'm really wide. Into the wall slightly. Missed my reference point slightly. But we're still in the slipstream. I was hoping to lift early and then try and hold it flat through my Mont Blanc, carry a bit more speed and get the move done into turn 1 here, but just misjudged the turn in point, which is very easily done when you're by yourself on track. But look how much speed we have heading to the first chicane. We're going to pull to the outside here. Just about pull the car up, but they're going to go round the outside of us through the second part. We leave them the space and they get back in front. They have a much better run through onto the Mulsanne straight this time, but we should just still be close enough to get the slipstream, because we need it. We can't keep up with them in a straight line if we don't have that slipstream. It looks like we might not be close enough. Yeah, they're just starting to pull away. And we're falling out of the slipstream now. But maybe we can close in at a later point in the lap, provided we don't fall too far back here. As darkness has been casted all across the circuit, as we're past 9 PM in game. 2-second gap they have, that's quite a bit. Now we're starting to come up to the bits of the track that we're a little bit stronger in, as Indianapolis and then Mont Blanc. Take a little bit of inside curb there. Thankfully didn't upset the car too much. But we haven't really closed in, unfortunately, and looks like they will be free to pull away from us now, unfortunately. It's a good fight while it lasted. And hopefully we'll have some more later in the race. Little bit of a lift that time just to be safe. While we are quicker through this first sector of the lap, I don't think we're 2 seconds quicker. So into turn 1. can see we're closing. Gap down to 1.5 seconds. Gap down to 1 second, but that's not enough. We need to be within probably about 3/10. I'm curious to see what these lap times will be from us. Of course, last lap we compromised each other through the first sector. So now that we're not compromising each other, it'll be interesting to see what this is. We've got a faster car coming up behind us that's had a few issues this race and is a lap down on us. That'll give us a little bit of slipstream here. Thankfully they got past us before that kink, and you can see in the relative in the top right the leaders are coming up to us. Looks like they'll be catching us at the sort of awkward point between Indianapolis and Masson Blanc. Ferrari there, I think, had an issue. And has held up this car in front of us, which I think is a Porsche. As the first of the leaders go past us. Here comes the second. Gonna try and nick a bit of their slipstream to maybe see if we can pull out to pass here, but they don't have the speed. Bit of a cut there, but they also cut the corner a bit. And we'll have the speed to pull past. But they'll pull into our slipstream. They might pull back alongside as we go towards into turn 1. And now we need to try and pull a little bit of a gap. They're still going to catch us down the Mulsanne. I'll lift just to be safe out of the chicane, just to make sure we don't collect the outside wall. Bit of a poor exit onto the Mulsanne. It's not going to make a difference. They have enough straight line speed that they'll pass us from being up to 2 seconds back. We just need to make sure we get into slipstream, though we've got to be careful. We do have a third place driver catching up to both of us as well. Hopefully they'll pass us before the Porsche can get by us. Maybe give us a little bit of slipstream to help. Here they come. There's the Porsche, there's third place. Unfortunately, they just don't pull back in line in front of us to give us any slipstream, but we'll pull into the Porsche's slipstream. We can see the overspeed that the Porsche has. That's why we needed that little bit of slipstream from the leader or third place driver. As we're not close enough for any slipstream here. And we're not going to get any slipstream from fourth place driver passing us here, as they're going to stick to the right hand side to also pass the Porsche. A little bit wide through Indianapolis. Cost us a bit of time. Time that we can't afford to lose. So we're obviously not as close as we were last lap. But maybe we'll be just close enough to get some more slipstream towards turn one and maybe make a move in the first sector. They go on the grass going into Maison Blanc, and it costs them a bit of speed. Closing up in the slipstream to the inside for turn one. Take a much bigger lift as we're carrying far more speed into turn one than we normally are. And we were also on that tighter line. Oh, I just got a little bit wide out of the chicane, had to lift to not hit the wall. And we still slightly grazed the grass before hitting the wall. Now we've got fifth place coming to lap us this time. Hopefully they'll give us a bit of slipstream, as again the Porsche's by a second back with the overspeed they'll have by the time they pass us. They'll be too quick for slipstream to help. And we got a little bit of slipstream there, which should help us ever so slightly. I believe the Porsche's also passed us a little sooner on the straight, which might help. No, it looks like they're still breaking clear. Looks like we need to sort of be on their gearbox coming onto the straight. If we want to keep up with them. Down to 40 runners in the race. Looks like 3 people have retired.
better run through Indianapolis last time. Car in front got onto the banking. Bit of wheel spin out of the tight right-hander. Also, in the top left, look at the differences between our last laps. Just 400ths in it. Both laps being personal bests. And we're set to go a little bit quicker this lap. We're not quite close enough. Don't have quite the run. Get them into turn 1, but we should have them on the exit here. But again, this isn't really what we want. Another car comes through to lap us. We'll sneak a bit of slipstream from them. You can see the moon in the sky. 11 in game. Looks like there's a battle for 7th and 8th just behind us. Pull into slipstream. We're gonna have to pull to the left-hand side as the leaders approach. I say leaders, no, I mean cars approach to lap us. Looks like they've stringed in single file helpfully as we get up here. It's gonna get a bit awkward through the kink for the 2 cars in front. This could cost the Porsche a bit of time in Mulsanne corner here. It's going to cost the Porsche a lot of time as I think that's a Chaparral got into the rear of them. Things certainly did get sketchy. And that's an unfortunate way for that battle to end. I think that might have been the pole sitter. I didn't know, I didn't quite see, but we've got the pole sitter as the next car up to lap us. So that could be them if they've got going, recovered and got going again. But yeah, real shame for the Porsche. It looks like the leader there is slowing down on the mini-map just before we got out of the right-hander. And can see them dropping back on the Delta. Looks like they're maybe got going again. But if they've got damage or something, had to set up a pit strategy, they may have been slowing down. Making sure we stay within track limits that time. Car in front of us is in the pits. It's a bit early to be pitting as we come round to complete our 10th lap of the race. We've still got 2 hours and 1 minute. Looks like they're just leaving the pits now. we'll go round the outside of them. But that car that just came out of the pits, their fastest lap of the race is a 3:35. So they will probably pass us here in the Mulsanne. The car behind them, that's now just overtook them, 3:28.8. So there they go. There goes the car that was just coming out of the pits. So obviously a couple of cars making early pit stops. I don't know if they'll be able to run to the end of the race from here. They might have to make another pit stop, but it doesn't really matter to us, to be honest. We still, of course, have to make a pit stop. As they went through at the start of the race, we were only making one pit stop for a new set of tyres and 66 litres of fuel. And we should be able to go 25 laps into the race before we have to make that pit stop. So far, the top 7 have lapped us. Looks like we've just had a couple of retirements within the last lap, as we're down to 38 runners. And yeah, 07's in the chat for the Porsche. Real shame to see them have that bell run. Who knows, we may find each other on track again. They're only 15 seconds behind us. They've probably got a bit of damage. But currently their personal best lap is 0.6 quicker than ours, so if they are a little bit quicker, they should be able to catch us up over the course of the race. Also welcome Marty, lurking in chat. Lock up there. Not the greatest first sector, losing half a second on our personal best. A little bit of slipstream to make up a bit of that time. I also see P9 lap us here. Closing and closing, can see them on the mini-map. There's the blue flag, but we are approaching the little keg. They should get us here. There they go. They pull in front of us nicely, give us a little bit more slipstream. We can see on our personal best lap, we had a nice bit of slipstream down here. Time just falling away. That was when we were behind the Porsche, fighting it. Getting a great dose of slipstream from it. Maybe a little bit cautiously in the braking for Mulsanne corner there. We dropped a bit more time on our Delta. Nice second down. I don't think we can match our Delta in clean air by ourselves. We just got too much slipstream on that lap to be able to match it. Getting a little bit of time back here at the end of the lap. On the Delta, we'll be about a second down as we come up to the line. A bit wide there, not quite getting the apex. Better run through the chicane though. Wide the apex again, coming onto the Mulsanne. Lose a bit more time on the Delta. It looks like that Porsche that got taken out has just pitted. Yes, they are in the pits. You can see just on the top left. They've just dropped off the standings now. But they were in the pits. We are currently nearly halfway through our fuel tank. You can see we have 13, well, just under 13 laps remaining of the fuel tank. We have 46 litres, that is. And we're coming up to about halfway on our 13th lap. Looks like we've had another car retire, so we dropped down to 37 drivers remaining. That makes 6 retirements so far. Accidentally went into neutral there. Tried to be a bit more aggressive on the brakes and it still seemed a bit cautious. Losing us a bit more time. We are in an awkward position of Pretty much everyone in front of us is lapping quicker than us. And we're quicker than everyone else behind us. Good run through that right-hander there. Picked up just over a 10th on our personal best. But we're still about a second off. Should about match our previous lap, which is good consistency, though we know we have a bit more time in the lap, even without any slipstream. A little bit slower this lap. 10th and a half slower than previous lap. Again, a little bit wide of the apex, just need to turn in a little bit sooner for that first corner. Another good run through the chicane. Hot into coming onto the Mulsanne straight there. As we have P9 and P10 starting to encroach on us. Well, P10's by 20 seconds back still. Here comes P9. Come on, pull over for the slipstream. Oh yeah, Tetra Rouge. Right-hander coming on to the Mulsanne. Let's see if we can get the braking right this time. That was on the limit. But you see we gained about 4/10 on our delta. There's 1.1 down going into the corner. Coming out only 0.7 down. Not going to risk braking that late when we're in a close fight with someone, but at least now we know whereabouts we can brake. Obviously, fuel and tyre wear can affect that distance, so we still don't want to push it too much. Good run through Indianapolis too. Now we're only about just over 4/10 down on our delta. From being 1.1 seconds down. And we lost nearly 4/10 in Tetra Rouge this lap, so we might be able to beat our delta in fact. We just need to string a whole lap together. Now just 3/10 down. car coming out of the pits. I just slightly touched the inside wall of the first part of the chicane. Luckily kept out of the right hand side wall. As P10 here comes to lap us. And we'll also have P11. And then the leaders will be coming around again. Close fight, just 3/10 in it for the lead at the moment. At the front of the field. They'll be passing us a little later on in the lap. In the meantime, there goes P11. Try and see if we can get our braking right again. That seemed like another good braking zone. A couple of cars off at Mulsanne corner on the mini map. As leader passes us before Indianapolis. And there's second place catching up to us as well. A lot of inside curb there. Yeah, well, we know it says 3 pit stops for us, but we haven't, or 1 pit stop for us, but we haven't done any, so we know that graphic might not be completely accurate. But yeah, you could say they've probably done 3 at least, if not 4 in reality. A little bit of grass. Still keeping 2 wheels within the track limits, which are, or the white lines, which is the rules here. Quite the lift into turn 1. Decent run through the first chicane. Got smoke up ahead. Second place, I think, had to go down the escape road. After the lead gap only being 3/10 this time last lap, it's now opened up to 12.5 seconds. So here they come back past us. There goes P12. yellow flag briefly popped up. Looks like it might have been a car that just ran onto the dirt a bit. We're deep into the night now. It's coming up to 3 a.m. in game. A little bit deep into Indianapolis. Of course, off down the escape road. That's P12. So that's 2 cars this lap that we've managed to pass from them going down escape roads. It's like that. If I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not that odd that it's happened, but it's odd that it's happened twice in 1 lap. Had to take quite a lift there, it was a little bit wide. Just got to hold to the left here. We've got a couple of cars P12 coming back past us here, as well as P3. It looks like P12 maybe just lifted off to let the P3 go first. Looks like they're going to hold us up, unfortunately, through turn 1 a bit. You can see we're just able to carry a little bit more speed than top runners through turn 1. Ford is deep into the wall at the chicane. Way to slow it up to make sure we didn't run into them as well. Leave them space in case they bounced back across the track, which luckily they didn't do. But still cost us a bit of time, and it's going to cost them P12. As P13 is half a second behind them now. There goes P12 again. Here comes P13. Looks like P12 still has a bit more straight line speed on P13. They are about 3.5 seconds faster when it comes to the personal best times. So they should be able to open up that gap again, but they can't afford to keep making mistakes like they have been. "96 minutes left in the race." Relying on a bit of engine braking there to help slow the car down. For Mulsanne corner. Just noticed the tire pressures have come down a little bit, but they're sort of getting into the optimum range. Again, they were a little bit high earlier. Track is probably also cooled down a little bit in the night here. And yes, Geeky, you do see that correctly, that is the Porsche back up into 31st. They've not managed to improve on their personal best time. But they're about 45 seconds behind us at the moment. I think they might have to take another pit stop, as do we. Well, it won't be another pit stop, or it'll be our one and only pit stop. One of the things with turn 1 I need to remember is that you have to lift a bit early. Get the car settled, make sure it's rotating well. As we've got a yellow flag up in front. Is it P12? It was P12. They've gone off here. They've dropped now to P13. As we said earlier, they can't afford to keep making mistakes. Look at that, they've made another mistake. So we'll get back past them temporarily, as we've had a very good opening sector to the lap. And we're going to continue with it, with a bit of slipstream down the Mulsanne, but we are going to lose that time again. So we're now a quarter of a second up. Starts to stabilize. We have another car, P4, coming behind us. Maybe give us a little bit more slipstream. Maybe get a slight little bit, but you can see this is where we start losing time quite quickly too, from slipstream that we got on our personal best. See, what was nearly 3/10 has now completely disappeared by the time we get to Mulsanne corner. We make about 10th up in Mulsanne corner itself. And we get better exits, so that time keeps gaining. So we should be able to send a personal best this lap, which would be nice. It was a little bit slipstream assisted, but not quite as much as our previous personal best. Nice 6.5 tenths up. Yes, this is looking to be a really good lap. Into the 47s. Won't quite be enough for a 46, but it'll not be far off. Sun is getting close to rising as we get to 4:15 in the morning. Nearly a second up on our delta. We'll be very close to a 46, just 600ths off. You can see how much of a better turn 1 we have when you lift that little bit earlier. good run through first chicane too, as us a quarter second up coming to Tetra Rouge. A little bit wide of the apex, but still gained a little bit of time on our previous lap. Looks like we will get a little bit of slipstream down here. We have one car just 4 seconds back. And I just looked in the top left to notice that the car in front of us for P26 set a lap time just 2 thousandths quicker than us that last lap. Also their personal best time. Imagine the fight that we could be having if we weren't 20 odd seconds back. Here comes our slipstream. You can hear the revs just slightly rise as we get into the slipstream. Didn't really gain us any time. Of course, we got slipstream last lap as well, so it just kind of balanced out. Another good run through Mulsanne corner. A half a second up on our delta. But with the sun getting ever close to coming over the horizon, we are approaching the most difficult part of the race. Once that sunrise starts to dawn on us, it will make visibility very difficult. Little wide through Indianapolis. Also, as we come to Maison Blanc, I want you to look to the horizon and see where the sun will be rising. See where that orange glow in the distance is coming from. And oh yeah, it's not too far from being directly in front of us as we approach this final turn. Oh, really bad run through there. Kept out of the wall though, most importantly. But yes, that sun rises right up into our eyes as we head to the final corner. That makes that final corner ever so difficult. We set a new personal best, even having lost a bit of time through Maison Blanc that lap. As we have more of the leaders catching up to us. Good run on to the Mulsanne straight as P5 is coming up to lap us. Sky continuing to get ever brighter as we get up to 5 AM now. This could be another personal best here, as long as we have a clean final corner this time. Hopefully the sun won't be blasting our eyes by the time we get there. another car approaching us as we get towards Mulsanne Corner. Hopefully they take it easy here and don't crash into the back of us. They closed up on the braking zone, but they hit their braking point. Didn't crash into us, which is all that we can ask for. Leave them space on the inside there of the kink. They slide out towards us, but they leave us space too. Not the easiest of places to pass cars as you're lapping them. Rear end sliding around through Indianapolis cost us a bit of time. Took a little lift just to be safe, but nowhere near as much of a lift as we did last lap. I can see the sun starting to rise now. The light coming across the screen. Sun ready to blind us when we next look towards it, which will be really soon. So prepare your eyes. There it is. Luckily we dipped down under the trees for the first chicane, but the sun will continue to rise and will eventually blast out over the trees. We'll keep the headlights on for a little bit longer just so we get the reflection off of the braking boards, but we'll be turning them off fairly soon. As we continue to hold down P27, fortunately in just a bit of no man's land. But maybe when all the pit sequences have cycled out, we'll find ourselves with someone to fight. Of course, we don't know how much fuel everyone else is going to be taking, and so how long their pit stop will be. As we're approaching the halfway mark of the race too. Few cars coming up to lap us. Battle for 14th, 15th and 16th is approaching, and in the middle of them they've got P4 as well. Things could get a bit awkward as we come down towards Indianapolis here. Hopefully they don't get as awkward as it did for the Porsche a little while ago. A car's on the grass behind us. Having to follow this GT40 Indianapolis is costing us a bit of time. See how they pull ahead on acceleration. So that's P4 and P14 past us. Now 15th and 16th are going to make their way through. Whereas 16th is actually 10 seconds back and is having a fight with P17. And here we go. Luckily the sun not quite high enough to disturb our vision just yet. We can certainly turn our headlights off now. That probably would have been a new personal best for us had we not got held up by the cars lapping us. Sun right in our eyes as we're coming into the first chicane. Luckily just in the shadows coming up to Tetra Rouge. Car in front of us making a bit of a mistake into there. So as we've passed the halfway mark, just want to thank you all for sticking around, despite the fact we've unfortunately found ourselves in this pocket, this empty bubble. It's a very close fight for P28 behind us, just 2 seconds separating 28th to 30th, but they are nearly 45 seconds behind us, and we are lapping a little bit quicker than them. We have a car fast approaching us, 2 cars in fact fast approaching us. I think they're just going to catch in the awkward point of the braking zone for Mulsanne corner. Luckily they were just far back enough. Here comes the first car. We'll tuck into its slipstream because the other car isn't going to be close enough to make a move before Indianapolis. We close in on the brakes. Right on the rear bumper through Indianapolis. Gotta be careful not to rear end them here. We're even just drive into the back of them. We have more traction than them on the exits. Had to lift to make sure we didn't drive into the back of them. Take a bit of slipstream, try and make up a little bit of the time that we've lost, though of course it won't help with the final corner here. There's a yellow flag, though it's cleared. Though there is a car going slowly. It should be noted, with the way Assetto Corsa does yellow flags, it only really shows a yellow flag if a car is off the track. If a car is spun stationary on the track, it will not show a yellow flag. So you kind of have to be a little bit, cautious in those situations where you've just seen a yellow flag. Even if it's disappeared, there could still be a car that's crashed that you need to avoid. getting held up again by this car. I don't know which car it is. We managed to go round the outside of them. Not that it means anything, they'll come straight back past on the straight here. But we'll tuck in for a bit of free slipstream. As we've got a couple of cars in the pits that are behind us for position. You can see in the top left. I think that Porsche that we were fighting, no, that Porsche is still out. They seem to be about 55 seconds behind us now. Though they should be closing in a little bit with the time we're losing with the cars lapping us here. Could be a Maserati. If you really want to know, if you scroll back up to that link I posted and check the entry list, it will tell you. If you are that curious. Trees giving a little bit of a strobing effect as the sun, as they split the sun, casting a shadow across the braking zone from Mulsanne Corner. We're not too far away from our pit stop. Just 2 more laps once we reach the end of this lap. Yeah, but in that post, Cora, there's 2 photos. One of which is the first is the sort of poster made for the race. The second is an entry list. I really hope this car backs out. It did. So the entry list is included in that post. As we see, there is 1 car in the pits. That is for position. That's the other Nissan in the field. Getting very close to that inside wall at turn 1. Give us a good run down to the chicane here. Not the greatest of runs through the chicane. We should get a little bit of slipstream here. We have a couple of cars close enough to lap us on the straight here. Maserati 151-3. So there you go, Corey. Get a bit of slipstream here again. You can hear those revs rise ever so slightly as we tuck into the slipstream. And we're on for a good lap here if we can hold it together for the rest of the lap. Car in front of us was deep on the brakes. I thought that car braked early. We started closing in quite a bit as we came up to the braking zone there in the car, so I braked just a slight bit earlier. But then when I seen we weren't going to hit them, I sort of let off the brakes a little bit. Let off a little bit too much. Cost us like half a second there. But they were not able to slow up for Mulsanne corner. Bit of oversteer, trying to put down the throttle out of Indianapolis. More wheel spin there. Tires are now maybe a bit under pressured. Especially that rear left. We're going to hold left here. Just to let the car back past us. Though who knows, we might close back in on them through the final corner here. And we'll be setting a new personal best here. Making up that time that we lost in the final corner. And we will be pitting this lap. Car in front locking up and running deep into the chicane. Allows us to close in again. They're a little wide through Tete Rouge. That's going to give us a little bit of slipstream here. Looks like we're catching up to a car to lap. You can just see them in the distance. I can see two cars, the one that came to lap us and the one that we're catching up to. We're not really catching up on the straight here, but we must be catching them through the corners. We are about 5 seconds a lap quicker than them. Looking at the personal best times, looks like they had a slow lap last time too, down in the 4 minutes. See that time we gained at Mulsanne corner on our Delta. Now, one thing we do have to be cautious of is we're going to take on 66 litres of fuel at this pit stop. We're also going to take new tyres. But the 66 litres of fuel is putting a bit of weight in the cars. There's a car off in the trees there on the right hand side. catching up to this push. We're 6/10 up on our delta and gaining slightly, as we're maybe getting a slipstream here on, I believe this is another Porsche. Not the Porsche that we were fighting earlier, but a different one. I'm going to try and get past them here. For the final corner, that was a bit sketchy. But we're going to be pitting here. Now the problem with being the first pit box is our pit box appears so late, as we're not changing tires. Did I must have had the wrong pit strat selected. Oh, that's okay. There goes the other Nissan. Ah, yeah. Oh, shit. Only took on 50 litres of fuel. Yes, that's the pit strat I'm meant to be using, strat 1. But when I was doing practice pit stops, in the practice session, I switched over to strat 2, which is fuel and 50 litres of fuel, no tire change. Just in case I needed to pit for damage, but I didn't want to take new tires. And I thought, you know, between sessions they'd reset. Or, well, to be honest, I didn't even think about it. I just knew that the strat I wanted was the first strat. Thus, I shouldn't need to be switching strategies. That's my bad, I should have checked that, but does mean we're a little bit short on fuel, and we'll have to take a splash and dash. We'll also have to take these tires to the end. And I don't know how well they are going to go to the end. So we have a car that's just over 5 seconds behind us and running similar lap times to us. And we then have the Porsche that we were fighting is back to being about 15 seconds behind us. They're a little bit quicker than us. But we don't know if they still... Both of those... cars should have to make a pit stop as... lose the rear end. Just try and get the car slowed down for Mulsanne corner. So we'll see at the end of the race how much, or towards the end of the race, how much fuel we'll need to put in. We'll assume 16 litres, as that's how much we short filled. We'll not take tyres because tyres will probably extend the time, how long the stop takes. oversteer there, had to take a left. As close as we can to that wall on the inside of turn 1. We'll see the car just slides by a little bit more now that we've got more weight in it. We have 13 laps of fuel. We're on lap 27. And we have just under an hour to go. So the car directly behind us for position has yet to make a pit stop, so they'll have to take a decently lengthed pit stop, I'd assume. Nice to see some patience from the car coming up to lap us, just waiting till after the kink, taking it safe. I didn't mean to dive bomb them there. I didn't think we were close enough to make that move, but we were just that much better on the brakes. So I'm curious when we'll be seeing the car behind us pit. I doubt they'll be able to do the full 2 hours 40 without pitting. Not unless the graphic isn't accurate and they have made a pit stop. Through the final corner, easily flat out, definitely within track limits, not even touching the grass this time. Probably the cleanest we've been through there all race. As P2 dives us into turn 1, had to back off slightly just because I knew, just make sure we slotted in behind them. Let's set up a pit strat here for 16 litres. just in case. And that car behind us has now gone in for their stop. We'll see if that other Porsche needs to pit, since they pitted quite a bit earlier than us. So can see the wing changing angle. Yeah, it's a small little detail, and those details are nice to see. The car coming up behind us here. Had to pull out of the slipstream just to make sure I could get the car slowed down without running into the back of them. I thought maybe we'd sort of be making a move on them again. Like we did with the Maserati, I believe. We weren't quite close enough. Maybe could have released the brake a little bit to go for it, but it's obviously not worth it. That'd be quite silly to do in this position. The Porsche behind us is closing in on us slightly. Gap's down to 10 seconds. And they have got a 45 as their personal best. Wide there. Minimum speed of 245 kilometers an hour through turn 1 there. In a little hot into the chicane. Compromising our exit a little bit. Coming up to lap us. That was a little close, but I suppose it doesn't matter how close it is as long as they don't hit us. We also have P3 coming in a bit quicker, it seems. I think they're going to catch us at the awkward moment of being in the kink here. I left them as much room as I could afford to give them. I think they did take a big lift there to make sure we got through safely, which is good to see. Again, just losing the rear end at the end of the braking zone there as we go to turn in. put this up to 20 laps. Or 20 liters, sorry. As I feel like with the lap times that we're running, might have a lap more than I calculated. I can't remember if it was 43 or 42 laps, but I think I rounded up to 44 laps of fuel, but that was using 3-minute 50 lap times. You know, thinking, oh, you know, you lose a bit of time off the start, the pit stop will lose time, you know, but there's been laps that we've gained nearly 3 seconds on that prediction. You know, and I suppose that would maybe be on average a second a lap if this was a more average lap time. And a bit hot there to Tetra Rouge. Gonna take a drink here. Now they don't have any cars about to lap us. That is the one advantage of a long straight like this. Gives you plenty of time to take a drink. It is quite warm in my room. PC is obviously working hard. Wheelbase is actually quite cool. A lot cooler than I'd expect it to be. The straights probably helping it not to overheat. It's not under constant load. Or constant force. Rear end. Tried to have another go there. They just held on to it. I don't know which car that is, but it does sound good. Rear tires are definitely getting a little worn. I sort of struggled a little bit more for traction out of Indianapolis. Porsche bang continuing to close up now, only about 6.5 seconds back. Looks like a Ferrari. Yeah, it does kind of look like one of the Ferraris. Just sort of surprising that isn't in red. this could be a little bit awkward into turn 1. Don't think they're going to be quite close enough. Good run through the chicane. Good run through Tetra Rouge. Has us 3/10 up on our delta. We go these little bit of time taking a slightly longer line through there to that the GT40, I think that is. Yeah, I think that's some of the older GT40s through. Just go pick up a bit on the slipstream. Porsche behind, still able to lap in the 45s. So they've seemingly got a little more confidence in their car and maybe able to push it that little bit more, and they're not losing quite as much time as they previously were to us in the corners. Though really, have to be honest, we were only really keeping up with the slipstream. You can see on our delta, we've just lost 3/10 on our delta from not having any slipstream there. Then we make up 6/10 in Mulsanne corner. We might get a little bit of traffic at the end of this lap. Gaining a bit of time through Indianapolis too. Struggling for traction there out of the right-hander. Getting a load of wheel spin. That's costing us time all the way up to the final corner here. Still 7/10 up. We'll be very close to a 45 here. Car behind us, not quite close enough to get us before the final corner here, but we need a good run here if we're going to get a 45. It was all right. Had to have the smallest of lifts, but I had a little bit of a run on the grass, so we'll just be a little short of a 45 here as we get past into T1. Have to take a much bigger lift than I'd like. Look how much quicker we can be than the leaders through turn 1. Putting pressure on this Ferrari, I believe. I'm assuming it's a Ferrari by the fact it says Scuderia. And now we have P5 right behind us as well. So there's about a second in it. In the fight for 4th place. Unfortunately, that did cost us a little bit of time to Porsche behind. Just crossed the 40 minutes to go mark. 2 hours into the race now. We had 8 laps of fuel starting this race. Really, we need like 11. So yeah, it looks like we might be about 3 laps short on fuel. I imagine the leader will lap us one more time here. Yeah, we're 3.8 laps, or 3.7 now laps behind the leader. So if they should be about a minute behind us. So it shouldn't be too long until we see them on the relative. And you can see on the relative down the Mulsanne straight how much that Porsche is gaining now within 5 seconds. That Porsche is coming, and there's not much that we can do about it. Not that we're really fighting it if they don't have to pit. Better exit there than we had last lap. Yeah, so I'm a bit more confident in 16 litres. That should be at least 4 laps, if not 5 laps maybe, of fuel. Kept it flat in there despite being a little bit wide of the apex than what I would have liked. Had to use a bit of grass. Well, that's no worries. Very close to the walls there. Had to turn out of the first apex a little bit just to make sure I didn't hit the wall. And a little bit deep there. You can see the time we're losing on the exit. I'm just running that slight bit deep. Porsche behind's now done a 44.7. So they're able to lap nearly a second and a half quicker than us. And as I said, we'll get lapped by the leader again. There they are on the relative, 27 seconds back. Comes Nate in their GT40. See that Porsche closing up is about 5 seconds back at the start of the straight. It's now going to be 3 seconds back as we brake for Mulsanne corner here. So you've got to say it's been a good recovery drive from the Porsche after getting taken out. You know, really, if they weren't taken out there, they would have been probably about 20 seconds up the road from us. Good news is, even if we do have to make an extra pit stop, we have nearly a minute back to the next car. A little bit of a cut there. It's just kind of following the car in front, which did the same. Looks like Lars was either in the pit lane or has made a mistake as we've got up to them, but they'll pull away again on the straight. As we're up to 20 seconds now, made up a couple of positions. We'll probably fall back to 23rd as the leader comes up to put us 4 laps down now. They have over a minute lead at this point. So their race going very well. See that Porsche in the mini-map now on the straight. It's just closing in. Good run through Mulsanne corner there. But won't stop the Porsche from closing up to us. Porsche was a second quicker than us last lap. And obviously with them making up all that pace on the straights. The pass should be easy. There is a yellow flag out. It looks like it was the leader that spun. I think it was the leader. It might be the car in front of them in 30th place. Couldn't quite tell. Went that gap to 3 seconds on the Porsche. I was a little worried there coming out of that chicane. I thought we might slide wide up into the wall, but sort of judged it perfectly. 5 laps of fuel remaining. As we start lap 35. But with 20.5 minutes remaining, we'll definitely have more than 5 laps. Actually, I'm not too sure by that. 16 litres. It's very close. I mean, the key thing is, how many laps is the leader going to do? And do we think they're going to lap us again? That's sort of the question. Porsche just over a second behind us now. As we are up to 21st now. See the Porsche just in the radar. Can almost guarantee that they're going to be close enough to pass us on the Mulsanne straight next time by. The leader definitely has more than 5 laps running. 3:20s possibly. Oh, car spun there, that was very close. I feel like the Porsche behind us was a little braver through that, which is, you could say, is a little bit disrespectful. Okay, so just thinking it through, let's say 3:20 for the leader. Okay, that is a little bit quicker than their current pace, but better safe than sorry. 3:20, if you, in 10 minutes, they will do 3 laps. So in 20 minutes, they'll do 6. In the time we have remaining, they'll do 8. Slight potential for a 9th lap. They're catching us at about 20 to 25 seconds a lap. Which means they'd probably need that many laps to catch up to lap us. Oh, welcome Ice. Good to see you. Have you lurking around, relearning the techniques of racing. Well, hope you can learn something. It has been a pretty decent race for myself. No big mistakes. Just the odd small one, which is very easy to have in these classic cars. And of course then messing up our pit strategy. But I don't think that will actually make any difference in the end. If anything, it might be alright, since if we do need 20 litres here, 16 litres isn't enough, then we weren't going to have enough fuel anyway with our normal pit strategy. I'll stay left here to let P2 through. Good final corner. Very clean. So 3 laps of fuel remaining as we cross the line here. 22 minutes on the clock. You can see we're closing up to the Porsche again. Through the corners. We're not going to be close enough for a slipstream. Really, we need to be half a second closer. Right on the Porsche's rear bumper. So it will fly away from us. Yes, as we were saying, I don't know where the leader is on track anymore, so I don't know when they're crossing the line to work out how many laps they have remaining. So we had 22 minutes. We're running 3:45s, let's say. 3:45. That'd be 7:30. 11:15. 15 minutes is 4 laps. So I think we have 6 laps remaining, plus a 7th, let's say, for safety, and depending where the leader is. This car won't have the braking capabilities to get past us, but I'll lose the rear end on the brakes. I didn't feel like I was too late on the brakes, but tires wearing out. Of course, the rear tires probably wearing out, well, according to the app at the bottom. Rear tires are more worn out. The wheel spin, of course, being a contributing factor to that. I've just noticed the car pop up on the relative in 23rd. They are running 10 odd seconds a lap quicker than us. They've made a few pit stops, so they've obviously had a bit of a rough race, but they could be taking 22nd away from us. They're 40 seconds back. Yeah, even if we don't have to pit, they would probably catch us. $18 minutes left on the clock as we cross the line here. So 6 laps to go. We'll need 4 laps of fuel. So 16 litres should be enough. And if I pull up the pit strategy here, you'll see it says plus 17 minutes. We've got 17 minutes left in the race. The time, Assetto Corsa will give you how long it thinks fuel will go, but the time isn't that accurate. But if I click here, liters a lap, 3.6. So if we times that by 5, that is 18 litres. Let's just set it to 20. Play it safe. No need to take risks. 4 litres of fuel isn't going to make a big difference. I think it's 1 or 2 seconds in the pits. That's very unlikely to change our finishing position at the moment. The main loss from having to take this extra pit stop is the time it takes to slow down. Well, I shouldn't be that worried because I think I would have been like a lap short on fuel anyway. Had I stuck with the original 66 litres in the stop. Of course, we took 50 accidentally. But I would have needed 68 litres by these calculations. So we were kind of setting ourselves up for an extra stop from the beginning, not intentionally, of course, accidentally. The tyres, I don't think it's made much of a difference that we didn't change tyres. The tyres still don't feel too bad. Okay, we've maybe had a couple of slidey moments from the rear end at Mulsanne corner. It's cost us a few seconds. It's not been a big deal, to be honest. Yeah, we have 1 lap of fuel remaining as we cross here. Thankfully, the green car backed out. That Ferrari was ever so close to that wall. Little lock up there from the Ferrari. Got a little squirrely through Tetra Rouge. But will now blast away down the Mulsanne Straight. Yeah, so of course the second stop, if we did get the strategy right, and we only did one stop, the first pit stop would have taken longer, because we would have taken on the extra fuel. So we're not going to lose any extra time in that regard. Because there isn't a pit speed limit, we're not losing any time in that regard. The only time we're losing is the time that it takes for us to slow down into the pit box, and then speed up leaving our pit box. Two litres of fuel remaining. It should just get us to our pit box and nothing more practically. It's not as bad as it could be. Yeah, we're not having to pit for to make repairs. Okay, we have a little bit of damage, but it's very minor. Its impact is going to be very minimal. Yeah, modern day Le Mans, and it'd be a much bigger penalty. Yes, indeed. Brief yellow flag. It looks like there's maybe a car rejoining from the runoff. Losing rear end just a little deep there again. When you're having those little slides that the rear end is getting away from you, you gotta be really careful what you do. Down to our final litre of fuel. This is maybe a bit close for comfort. Maybe should have pitted last lap to be safe. But even if we do run out of fuel, we'll have enough to coast. Yeah, cut that corner a little bit, it'll be alright. We'll have enough to coast into the pit box anyway. We come here, we pit about here. And there pops up the pit box. Just get ourselves in there. Wait a little bit. We'll lose 20 seconds. But we have plenty of time to 24th. Five and a half laps of fuel. There is P24 on the relative, apparently about 40 seconds back, so we should be safe there. It's not like they're any quicker than us. Yeah, and you can see the practice of getting into the pit box has been well worth it. That was a little sketchy. Yeah, that pit entry is very difficult because there's absolutely no reference for the point that the pit box that you're trying to park yourself in until you've entered pit lane. It only appears when you've entered pit lane. And being one of the first pit boxes, it only appears at like 50 meters at most before then. When you need to start braking 300 meters roughly before the pit box to get stopped in time for it. You know, it's like when you're braking for Mulsanne corner, you can see where the apex of the corner is. So you can roughly tell if you're slowing down in time for it, or if you're going a little deep, or if you're maybe slowing up a bit early. And the delta at the bottom also helps with that. You know, you can judge, are you going a little bit quicker, or are you a little bit slower at any specific moment than you were on your personal best lap. But you don't have that for the pit lane. So it's really difficult to judge. You just sort of have to find a point to start braking at, of which there isn't any solid reference points. It's kind of right. The dotted line starts here. I've got to wait like 1 or 2 seconds and then start braking. There's still slight potential we get lapped before the end of this race. But if we don't get lapped, there's a very good likelihood that we end up crossing the line once the clock has reached 0-0. But before the leader has crossed the line, meaning we have to do an extra lap. Ooh, mistake there for the car in front. Just getting wheel spin, slid onto the grass and eventually into a tree. Quite a big mistake. They were catching up to P28 as well, so that'll be a bit frustrating for them. We can see the Porsche in our relative in front. We're about 17, 18 seconds behind them. So we only lost, 15 seconds in that pit stop. The time we lost from taking a second pit stop was maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes? 5 seconds, sorry. Overall, and we're not going to be within 5 seconds of anyone. And that Porsche is also... Oh, they've had a slow lap. They did a 3:59.2 last lap. That's a race. That's a slow lap for them. So they've maybe got caught up in another incident or made a mistake. Also, the car that just crashed there, their previous lap was their personal best lap of the race. So it was going well for them. But maybe they were just pushing a little bit too hard. After gaining some confidence, maybe. There is the leader in our relative now, so they will catch us before the end of the race. And they will be starting the final lap next time round. So we're definitely very safe on fuel. 16 litres would have been enough. But hindsight is always great. as P4 comes past us. They're being chased by 8 seconds. Three minutes left in the race. So yeah, as the leader crosses the line here, not too far behind us, they will be starting their final lap. And then when they lap us, that'll put us onto our final lap as well. We'll get 42 laps done in the end. So we finish lap 41, starting lap 42 here. Had to lift a little bit just to make sure I didn't slide out to the wall. Looked like there's been a couple of mistakes here, either someone slowing down to make sure they don't have to do an extra lap, but there was a yellow flag which would indicate someone making a mistake. We get a bit of slipstream here from the green car. I think this is another Porsche. There goes P5. Leaders should catch us here too. There they come on the map. Lotus Europa, you think? It could be. Yeah, actually, yeah, you might be right. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably is the Lotus, because thinking about it, it looks familiar now, because I think I've seen that Lotus. Maybe not the exact version, but I've definitely seen a similar type of Lotus to that in real life. So yeah, I think one of you two are definitely right with it being a Lotus, at least. I can say for certain with the leader being nearly 10 seconds up the road, even if we didn't have to take a second pit stop. They still would have lapped us for the 5th time. Got a bit deep into Indianapolis there. We were maybe on for a new personal best if I didn't make that mistake. So yeah, the timer has counted down and reached 0. Just reached 6 PM in game. Sun getting close to setting once more. One last time through. I'm not even going to try pronouncing it. I've probably been butchering it all race. Mine's kind of gone a bit blank. Leader has finished in fastest lap of the race on the final lap. Will come through for P23. Across the line after 42 laps around Le Mans. 9 litres of fuel left in the tank, so we were very safe. We definitely would have been safe with our initial strategy. And yeah, you're right, Cora. The tyres, having done the full race, aren't too bad. The rear definitely a little bit sketchier here towards the race, especially in the braking zones. Especially as we gained the confidence to push those braking zones a little bit more. But yeah, we could have saved 7-8 seconds without that second stop. But of course, we wouldn't have got any positions. We were about nearly 20 seconds back. I should probably pull over to the left here. We might as well go flat out on the cool down lap here. It's the Nissan's one of the slower cars in a straight in the field. So even being flat out will technically still be somewhat slow. Yeah, thank you for the well dones. That was not the most thrilling race ever, but still an enjoyable, still a fun race. It always is with these classic cars. We had a good battle with the Porsche early on, and from there we just kind of found ourselves in no man's land a bit. We did have a couple of cars pass us from the pit strategies, the Porsche included, after it got taken out. When they ended be 23rd, we were 35 cars remaining at most at the end of the race. Not too much damage sustained, bit from bodywork damage from when we drove under a car that had gone off at Mulsanne Corner. Yeah, we'll get the final results here. We started with 43, finished off with, it looks like, 31 in the end. We finished 23rd. First car to only make 42 laps. Leaders got 47 laps in the end. But yeah, that was a fun race. Fun race indeed. A little bit tired after that one. Was quite warm throughout that. But yeah, that was good fun. I'd love to take a bit of time to kind of digest that race a little bit more, but I have to go do something in about 6 minutes. Here's the fuel calc. Yeah, it was 42 laps I calculated, so that was just about right. We were very close to, again, 43 laps, so yeah, that was pretty accurate. So yeah, I think I set up for 43 laps of fuel, which we were just 1 lap short of, and yeah, the fuel that we put on would have got us 43 laps. So yeah, that was pretty accurate. Before we do quick end stream, we're quickly. Oh, I just realised I said that. I had the calendar up on my screen behind the game. Obviously, closed the game, seeing the calendar. Forgot. Switched to full screen. But yeah, before we end stream, we're going to quickly do the Art of Rally daily stage. Hopefully it's a short stage, as as soon as I click end stream, I'm going to have to go do something. I'm not going to have a second to spare here. So yeah, we'll finish off with a bit of Art of Rally as we usually do. If you didn't catch Tuesday's stream, where Tuesdays we're doing our AMS2 IMSA series, or our IMSA series on AMS2. We did the weekly event. We currently sit 39th in the end, pretty consistent from our previous weeks, 38th, 35th, 37th, 39th. The lowest so far, but not by much. Of course, still another few hours to go in that event. So we could drop another couple of positions. For the daily event, let's see where we were on Tuesday. We got 27th in the end, so that went quite well. So let's see what we can do. Oh, it's a 6-mile stage in a Group 3 car. Of course, it's a long stage when I need it to be short. I feel like I know what car this is. Is it a Lancia Stratos? I think this is. It is sliding around a little bit. Rear end, maybe a bit slidey for my liking. Not the quickest of cars. Oh, you can't see. That would really help, wouldn't it? Apologies. Dearest apologies. Kind of forgot to change it over in slight rush I have to get this done. We're halfway through stage, thankfully. While the car may not be the quickest, it is somewhat of a quick stage. Core thinks it's a 288 GTO. You could be right. As I've said before, my car knowledge is far from the greatest. Maybe slowed up a bit too much for that left-hander, but just wanted to be safe with it as it was over quite the crest. And there's the finish. So it'll be done in 2 minutes 55.4. Was clean stage. That puts us 33rd. Very consistent with where we've been in the weekly stages. Of course, still a few hours to go, so we'll be able to check back on Tuesday where we finish off there. Yes. Yeah, we'll check back on how we ended off at once the day is finished on Tuesday stream, which will be AMS 2. Round 5 of our IMSA series. It's a circuit I don't remember off the top of my head. So yeah. Don't give me a cloud error, Steam. I'm just quickly setting something up, by the way, if you're noticing a couple of things. Um, so yes, on Tuesday we'll have continuation round 5 of our IMSA series on AMS2. That will be starting about 7:45 UK time. I still have to schedule that stream. But I remember to do that tomorrow or Monday. I have a very busy day ahead of me. So I'll get that scheduled in the next couple of days. Usual times. And yeah, that's the main thing we have going on. So there's 2 more rounds of that. So we'll have Tuesday coming and then the Tuesday after. After that, don't know. There's nothing in the plans at the moment. So we'll have to see. Of course, as usual, there'll be sort of normal videos, the rally videos and versus the community. In the meantime, on Mondays or Tuesdays, sorry, for versus community, on Forza, Fridays for our rally series. And yeah, that is going to be it. Thank you, Iris, Cora, Geeky, Artie, Ice. Thank you all for being around today. It's great to see so many of you here for today's stream. Hope you all enjoyed, even if it wasn't most exciting race. Hopefully you enjoyed the classic action. And yeah, hopefully I will see you around for a future Tuesday stream, whether it be this week coming or the week after. Yeah, and hope you enjoy the videos as well in the meantime. Yes, until Tuesday, take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your weekends, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.